Pint of Comics. I'm John.
I'm Manster.
And I'm Dan.
Dan brings the boom. You know what the boom is? Boom Tube Comics, 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike, Southington, Connecticut. That's where we are right now.
Yep.
And this is another edition of Book by Book, where we are going to go through the lineup here at Boom Tube Comics, and each one of us is going to talk about, briefly, 2 comics, 2 DC, 2 Marvel, and 2 independent, that we're either digging or we think you should be digging. Why don't we start off with our host, Dan. Dan, DC Comics, what books would you say right now are hot or people should come down and check out? What are the 2 books you have picked?
Doomsday Clock number 12.
It came out?
It came out finally.
My lord!
3 years. It's a good ending to the series. Not the one I expected it to be, but it's good. It makes me want to. What's going to happen next in the Watchmen universe? I think we've got a good segue to something that could be bigger. So. I like that book. And then number 2 pick for me is Dead Earth with Wonder Woman, a post-apocalyptic story. Something I don't think we've really seen her in very much. And
No.
kind of talks about her longevity, I guess, a little bit. And she wakes up to a post-apocalyptic world and has to fight some monsters and figure out if she actually caused the devastation.
And this is DC Black Label,
Yes.
which is their larger format, more adult-oriented books. And this one here is by Daniel Warren Johnson, who is pretty well known for Murder Falcon.
Yes.
A lot of people dig the book Murder Falcon. I personally don't read it. You read a lot of indies, no?
No, I don't read that one.
All right. So I met him at New York Comic Con. Yeah, very nice guy. I met him at New York Comic Con. And Murder Falcon is super popular. All right, Lloyd, what do you got in your listings here?
So in my listings, I have also another DC Black Label prestige format, The Question, by Jeff Lemire, art by Dennis Cowan, Bill Sankiewicz, and Chris Sotomayor.
You are a big Lemire guy.
I'm a big Lemire guy.
Yeah.
I get almost anything that he puts out, and this is fantastic. It's, the character that Rorschach was based on.
Yep.
Kind of a, what would you say, mystic detective?
Yes.
There's some really cool shit going on in there. It's a good book. I recommend it.
And trivia fact, most of you probably know this. I don't know if you know this, Master. On the DC animated Tim Universe cartoons, The Question was voiced by Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator.
Oh,
he had
all
that
right.
very cool kind of monotone voice.
Yeah.
Very cool character. All right, what's your second book?
Yeah, my second book, this is called Daphne Byrne. It just came out this week, number 1. I'm a big fan of, let's say, Nosferatu, Barlow the Vampire from Salem's Lot, and this little guy right here. It's sufficiently creepy enough to just get the book just for that.
The poster creeps me out every night when I shut the
Yeah, that's creepy. And you kind of said that you were a fan of Barlow, Salem's Lot. What is the connection between Salem's Lot and this Black Label Hill House?
Here we go. So Hill House Comics is Joe Hill. Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King. Stephen King wrote Salem's Lot. There you go.
Full circle, baby.
I think there are 5 books in this Hill House comic label. So you got Basket Full of Heads, written by Joe Hill. The Lolo Woods. I don't know the
Plunge.
The Plunge. This one here,
Dollhouse
the Dollhouse Family, another really good one.
That was the second one, yeah.
Might be missing one other one,
I
but
think there's one more, and they're all mini-series, but I think that they're somehow maybe weaved into each other.
They're all part of the same Hill House universe.
Yeah.
It's a horror universe, which I think is pretty groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's done a series of books that are all in the same universe in that genre.
And if you've never read any of Joe Hill's stuff, I read a book called Heart-Shaped Box years ago.
Oh, great book.
Creepy book. And, so here's a guy who inherited his father's talents. And I think I saw him at Boston Comic Con. Do yourself a favor and look up Joe Hill.
Yeah.
And then look up a picture of Stephen King in about 1985. And literally, there's no doubt.
Yeah, that's
there's no doubt at all. All right, that this is his kid.
I have a signed copy of that, hardcover copy of that Heart-Shaped Box.
Heart-Shaped Box?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a cool writer.
Yep.
And he, obviously, if you're not familiar, and the TV show, the trailer just came out this week. He did Lock and Key.
He did?
Yeah, and the trailer just dropped this last week. All right, so for my 2 books, I'm going to pick one that I personally read the first 2 issues of and am not going to go forward with. So you're saying, that's weird. But I can tell you that sometimes there are books that are for you and there are not for you. But quality is not a concern here. N.K. Jemisin, who is, I think, a young adult author, YA titles, and Jamal Campbell, DC's Young Animal, which is their lineup of like Doom Patrol, the Gerard Way universe. It's called Far Sector. And this is a book about the farthest out reach Green Lantern. So it's this young girl, and there's some, in the first 2 issues, there's some, I guess, stuff going on in her background. Why has she been put out there? But this is the story of a Green Lantern who is further away from Earth than anybody else. And she is
Earth or Oa?
Further away from Oa, Earth. She's in this far
She's out
sector.
there.
She is out there by herself. She has no backup or anything.
Wow.
And she is governing, or not governing, she's policing this this 4-planet community that is all on one planet now. And it's 4 different races that are all kind of like working together, but there's some stuff, and there's kind of a murder mystery. I personally am not going forward with it. It's 12 issues, but it's well written. It just didn't grab me personally. But that being said, really cool art, and if you're into strong female characters, right there. All right? And then my second, and this is exciting for some people not.
Thanks,
So
Ron
Tom
Bastura.
King, yeah, thank you to our friend Ron Bastura for buying me a copy, which you've sold out of, right? You're waiting on more to come in.
Yeah, good call, Ron.
So Tom King was supposed to write Batman from issue 1 to 100. That was the plan. At some point last year, they said you're only going to 85.
Yes.
So he finished 85. There's going to be a miniseries coming out, I think next year or this year, Batman and Catwoman.
Yes.
That's going to be maybe 14 issues to kind of cap off his run.
Right.
But 86 came out today. So this is technically the first Batman in the Rebirth era that is not written by Tom King. It's written by James Tynion the Fourth, who you might know from Detective Comics, and he's done other stuff. A lot of stuff. Drawn by Tony Daniel, who has written, who's written Batman and drawn Batman. So there you go, Batman number 86. Starting now, The Dark Knight's most dangerous story yet. Who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if you were a fan of Tom King, you probably want to keep going on Batman. And if you were like a lot of people and you hated the Tom King run, well, here you go. Here's relief in in magazine form. There you go. All right, so we're going to head down to the Marvel section and talk about the House of Ideas. Manster, what books are we going to be talking about now? What publisher are we talking about right now?
We're talking about Marvel right now.
Marvel right now. Marvel RN. Here at the Boom Tube.
Right? It's right. And what I got here? Punisher Soviet.
Ooh.
That's about the best impression.
Is that your best Russian you can get?
That's the best Russian I can
If
get.
he dies,
Thank God he's not a spy.
he dies.
Yeah, Frank Castle's, I forget how it starts, but there's some people killed, and it looks like Frank Castle did it, but no, it wasn't him. It was someone else. So,
Surprisingly.
he kind of makes friends with this dude. So, and I just want to show you this one page 2 of this particular one.
We got someone
If
blowing
you
up.
saw that, 3 stumps, the guy in the middle saying, "Kill me, just fucking kill me." And then this here, Daredevil, written by Chip Zdarsky. It's usually art by Chiquetto, but now it's Fornes. I really like this story. Daredevil is not his normal self. He's quit being Daredevil, but he's maybe back on the scene pretty soon, I think.
All right, I see he's getting funky with Elektra on the cover there.
Oh yeah.
Like he
He's
likes
getting
to do.
funky
Oh, yeah.
inside too.
Yeah, good for him, man. Good for
Yeah.
him. She's hot. She's comic hot, man.
Jesus Christ.
What?
How about you, Dan? What do you
So
got for us?
I picked Mark Waid's run on Doctor Strange. I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested in it because it certainly seems like Doctor Strange has his hands capable of doing surgery because he's holding the scalpel in one hand on this one. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Wow.
And I would assume, it's going to be kind of interesting to see if he's in the operating room and uses some magic.
And
to help
that book
some people
is subtitled Surgeon Supreme.
out. Right.
Usually it's
exactly.
Sorcerer Supreme. So
Right. So
Can't he just use magic to make his hand better?
I don't know.
I
That's a good
think
question.
he's tried that.
Oh,
and I
really?
think it's
Has he?
been unsuccessful.
Okay.
Some things are
Kind of weird.
Some things can't be
You
undone.
think he could do
You
anything?
just took 60 years of like continuity and just destroyed
Well,
it.
he had
It
it
doesn't
in the
make sense to
previous
me.
run. He had in the previous run he lost his magic and had to go to outer space to regain it. So maybe he's got new magic now.
Funnily enough, in the
He's
second
got
Austin
new
Powers
alien
movie,
magic.
In the second Austin Powers movie, he lost his mojo and had to go
Yes.
to outer space to regain that.
See, outer
Yeah.
space is the solution to everything.
Stan Lee's gonna haunt Lloyd now. You ruined everything.
Excelsior! What's your second book, Dan?
Serpent War, Conan Super War. It's a team up with Moon Knight, Conan, Solomon Kane, and I forget the fourth character. It's a female character. It's written by Jim Zub. Another book I've yet to start to read, on my list, but looks really cool. It's picking up steam with subs and everybody. So Zub's getting the subs into the boom tube.
Zub, sub, boom, tube.
There you
Conan is hot, by the way.
Very hot. He's-
Tons of books.
Yeah.
And I want to say that out of all the books we've talked about today so far, Serpent War is also most likely to be the title of an Iron Maiden album. All right.
Yeah. Hold on, before you go.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention Punisher Soviet by Garth Ennis.
And if
Jason
you're
Burrows.
Jason Burrows, if you are a fan of Garth Ennis, you know, and the Punisher, you know that he is pretty much the guy, right?
He's a Punisher.
Garth
guy.
Ennis is the Punisher guy, and Jason Burrows has done a lot of artwork for Ennis in a lot of their Avatar books.
Yeah, Avatar.
And he does a lot of he does the gore really good.
Oh, he does.
I've only read the first issue of that so far, but all you got to say is Ennis Punisher. I'm a Punisher guy anyway. I'm right in there. All right, so talking about Conan, there's a big thing going on right now with Marvel 2099.
Well, it's kind of over. But...
Kind of over. Well, so is happening. Thanks for fucking my buzz there, Dan. Pardon my French. So Conan the Barbarian.
Video is not safe for kids.
Yeah, not safe for kids,
Per
by the
YouTube
way.
Guidelines.
All right, so we have Conan the Barbarian. It's a one-shot, 2099, and this is written by Jerry Duggan and art by Roger Antonio. I like saying that.
Roger.
It's got a lot
Say
of
that again.
Roger Antonio. It's a lot of those tildes and marks on his name. This is just a really cool book. This is basically Conan, if you know from like Savage Avengers,
It was good.
which is right here.
right there.
Conan is currently in the current Marvel timeline, and this book basically takes place and says, well, what if he were to live and continue past all of that, right? Yeah, just toss them books, right? Toss that merchandise. So what if
I'm
he were to
not
live
doing it.
past that? There are some cool surprise cameos in here. He ends up with a very cool relic from the Marvel Universe,
Yes.
and it was very fun. This is a very fun book. So there's a bunch of one-shots out right now for $20.99.
Yes.
The event that it's over, but you still buy the books. Ghost Rider, Punisher, they did several. I only read the Conan one and Doom, and I will tell you, check that out.
Spider-Man.
Now, Star Wars, Target Vader. This is the sixth issue.
Target
It is
Vader.
Target Vader. The sixth and final issue of this miniseries. And basically you have this new character that they came up with for these. And then remember, the new Marvel comics are canon, right? So everything that happens in here is happening in the movie universe. It's not like you have to wonder, is this Legends? Is this This is actually happening. So this character here has been hired with a bunch of other bounty hunters to find Vader. So you could check out this book, and then remember, in previews currently for the next 2 months, you're going to be able to get the second issue of the new Vader series, which is coming out. And there's also a brand new Star Wars series. Issue 1 will be out, called Bounty Hunters, which is following this badass right here who's fighting Darth Vader hand to hand. You ever fight Darth Vader hand to hand? I don't think you did.
don't win.
I don't think you did. You ain't gonna win,
Yeah.
No.
right?
No.
Nobody
Unfortunately,
fights Darth Vader hand to hand.
He gives you the
The only
jump.
person to ever fight Darth Vader hand to hand was Obi-Wan Kenobi. And do you know how he won?
By dying.
He had the high ground. Don't do it, Anakin. Remember? Oh,
Yeah,
man, terrible
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Shitty movie. Anyways, so you can check out Star Wars Bounty Hunters #1 coming soon. Let's talk about independent comic books.
Indie books.
All right, it's indie book time. Book by... That's not what we were talking about. All right, you know what?
That
Lou,
wasn't in the plan.
that wasn't in the plan, but that's okay. You just saw something that shouldn't have happened. All right, so before we talk about indie books, real quick, I want to talk about these awesome short boxes that are graphically enhanced. What are
What
these
is the
called?
only indie box?
Graphic short box.
Graphic short boxes.
Graphic short box?
Yeah,
So-
this is the only indie one. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think Lou realized what was supposed to happen there, but I caught it.
No, Lou realized fully. Lou just wanted to just.
Oh,
have
you wanted to fuck
something
with
fun.
me. All right, cool. All right, so real quick, Dan, how much do these cost?
$12.99.
$12.99.
If you have a silver account at BoomTube Comics, you get a 10% discount.
10% discount.
I'm getting one tonight.
All right, you're gonna pick one up. All right, so Lloyd's got one over there. What do you got? You got Darwin Cook, right?
I got Darwin Cook, New Frontier Justice League. Look at this beautiful box. Who's on the front there?
Oh, yeah.
Martian Manhunter, Flash, Cyborg,
The Justice League.
Black Canary.
Black Canary. Look at this side.
Oh, look at that.
Wonder Woman. Oh my God.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It
This is a
beautiful.
great box.
It
I
is
love
a
this
nice
box.
Yes.
I got a couple here. I have got the awesome Alex Ross Incredible Hulk. What is that book called? It's the
Immortal Hulk?
Immortal Hulk. So that's
Oh,
for me.
that's
Well, it says Incredible Hulk,
Yes.
but he does the covers for Immortal Hulk.
Yes,
so.
yes, yes.
And then on the bottom, the Jock cover from Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen the, I don't know, the issue 881 or something like that, this incredible Joker and basically made out of a bunch of bats. That is awesome. And Dan, what do you have there?
I have the My Little Ponies IDW box. I'm not sure of the characters. I think you might know more about this than I do.
Look, I'm going to be honest. My wife is the fan, but I bought enough merchandise to know.
You're not a brony?
I'm not a brony.
All right.
This is Spike. He's the dragon.
Huh.
I think this is Twilight Sparkle.
He thinks.
This I'm not kidding. This is certainly this is certainly Applejack because she has apples on her jack. And I don't know the rest. I don't know the rest.
Sure you don't.
Yeah.
Apples on her jack.
But you can get those down here at BoomTube Comics. They are super cool, super convenient.
Look at that
And
cover.
you know what?
Even the cover.
Everybody's tired of just the white long box. Do they do these in long
Not only
boxes?
that, these are
No,
glossy.
no long boxes.
These are
These
nice
are glossy?
and glossy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The long boxes, they get all
Yeah, and the
dirty
light
and-
shining off them great.
Yeah. Sorry. Don't do this. Do this.
All right, so let's talk about some indie comic
All right.
books. I'll start this time.
Okay.
All right.
Look, my box
So,
has comics in it.
number 1, Alien vs. Predator, Thicker Than Blood. Yes, I'm that guy that gets the Alien and Predator books. I did get this, and I enjoyed it. It is issue 1 of 4. Basically, this is a story of a family on a spaceship cruise that a predator ends up on. And what do predators do? They fuck your day up, and
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Yeah,
But
I
what's
did
very
think-
cool is this character here, this little redhead guy, the brother. It's not even a secret once you read it. He's actually an android.
Once you read it.
Once you read it, he's an
Spoiler.
android. So
It's
he's
not a spoiler once it's been
yeah,
read.
it's not a spoiler once you spoil it.
Pint of spoilers.
Kind of spoilers. He's an android. So he ends up kind of protecting the family. That's what he's programmed to do. And so you basically got Predator versus Android Kid. And yeah, Alien shows up before the end of it. Cool first issue. I enjoyed that. Secondly, here's a book I do not read, but I wanted to point out longevity in comic books is a cool thing. And it doesn't always happen so much in the indie books, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you've got 750 issues of Wonder Woman coming up. You've got 1,000 issues of Detective. All that stuff. That stuff's been around forever. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has been around for a long time, but I don't know if there's ever been a run this long. I think this is their longest run so far. So this is the IDW Kevin Eastman written version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book, excuse me. And this is issue 101. Issue 100 obviously just happened. It was a big landmark issue. And one of the cool things in here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the title of it, but if you saw the Toys That Made Us on Netflix, yeah, it's not, the ad's not in here, it's in 100. At the end of the Toys That Made Us, Eastman and Laird, the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, got together for the first time in many years, and they actually in the show had like a kind of like a reckoning. Like they kind of like there was a lot of issues with money, all that kind of stuff. They are for the first time in like 35 years doing in this same like a mini series off of this a Turtles comic.
Yeah, the
Right?
Last Ronin.
The
right?
Last Ronin is what it's called. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was titled. So I would say issue 101 is probably as good of a jumping on point as anything if you were to jump on, because it looks like this train ain't stopping anytime soon. And you could probably go back and pick up prior issues as well, places like BoomTube here, 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike, Southern Connecticut. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I cannot say in one easy sentence, so I'm just going to call it TMNT.
Nice.
There you
101. Dan, what you got?
go. All right. I got Skulder and Skeleton Boy from the Jeff Lemire Black Hammer world. I have not started reading this yet, but
Okay. How come that's not on my list?
Oh, I got
Oh.
excited.
how come?
All
It's a
right,
Jeff
just
Lemire
hand it
book.
right to Lloyd when you're done
There
with
you
that.
go. Cha-ching.
Look at that. Selling stuff to the dudes that are doing the video.
Anyway,
is that a Turkish hot sale?
Yeah, Turkish
a
hot
lot
sauce.
of people who have had to reorder this book. This book is really hot. Definitely on my list to pick up. I'd like to know more about these characters. And then Ice Cream Man. I am not to this issue yet. I started at issue number 1. I'm reading from the beginning, but they are self-contained books, and they're like little horror stories. And the common thread is this creepy Ice Cream Man guy who lives in the town. So.
You know, I love the self-contained books.
Yeah.
That's still good.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun to read. You don't have to like know from issue number 1. You don't have to know a bunch of characters. It reminds me of some of the horror books I read when I was a kid.
Nice little anthology type series.
Yeah.
Is that Image?
Yes,
Man?
yes, yeah, Image as well. Yeah.
And you know what the best thing about the Ice Cream Man is? All his flavors are guaranteed to satisfy.
Guarantee.
Little Van
I
Halen.
will get
Wow.
Little Van Halen
All
for the
right.
kids out there. Lloyd, what do you got?
Yeah, I got another
David Lee
Image
Roth.
book. Well, I guess the most premier of all the indie publishers, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Image
I mean,
is
you can't
Image and Dark Horse are kind of like
Yeah.
the granddads of the indie stuff.
Yes.
You know,
Who
or
gets
the-
first billing in the previews, though?
well, Dark Horse because it's alphabetically first.
No,
No,
It's Image.
Is it Image?
It's Image.
Yeah.
All right, didn't
Number
know that.
1. Yep. This is called Gideon Falls by none other than Jeff Lemire.
This is the Jeff Lemire
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
And, art
He's
by,
on fire.
You might think the art's by Andrea Sorrentino, but no, it's Andrea.
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 No, it's a dude.
Yeah.
It's not a girl.
Yep.
It's a dude.
Oh, really?
Gideon Falls. It's a creepy book. There's a black barn. Somebody's in search of a black barn. A lot of weird shit happens. People
the
are
Black
maybe
Barn.
not who they thought they were. It's a good book. It's already up to number 20. That's a pretty long running
It is.
series
think
for Image.
Yeah,
Sorrentino did the art for his Green Arrow run
Yeah,
too, which is
yes, he did.
fantastic.
Yeah,
The
they
only
worked
good
together
part. The only good
before.
part of the new 52 Green Arrow. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that was
that
an
10
awesome
issues
run.
that Lemire did.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
separate
Yeah.
issue, John.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that later.
So, good stuff. Not a good jumping on point because you really need to be on this from the start, but I'm sure there's a.
I'm sure trades are
I'm sure there's
available.
some
Yep,
trades
trades
right
are
Come talk to
available.
Dan.
Yep.
And then I'll move on to my second pick, a truly independent company, Vault Comics.
Oh, you
Yes,
talked
it's
about that
called
on one of the
Plot.
recent
Have
issues.
you ever
where-
heard of the Pina Comics podcast?
Yeah, we're on that.
You probably heard me talk about this.
That's right.
It's another kind of creepy. I picked a lot of creepy.
You like
books this
creepy
time
shit,
around.
man. Yeah.
My daughter just read that, and she's in.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
fabulous book. Yeah, read it if you can get it. I'm not even sure you can get.
Number
Earlier
one
copies.
sold
Yeah,
out.
number one.
And I don't see a second
They
printing.
had 2 printings, right?
Oh
of
yeah, they
number
already.
1.
Yeah, third printing, Matt. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Yep.
So those are my 2 books.
Little swamp
Short and
thingish,
sweet.
right?
Yeah, Little Swamp Thing is.
All you
look at
swampy fans out
Look at
there.
that cover.
It's a
you
great
know?
cover.
That's cool, creepy.
We're gonna put it up right over your shoulder too.
Yeah.
All
There it
right.
is.
So book by book, we like to go through real quick. That wasn't super quick, but we still had a good time and talk about what's coming out, what is out, and what you could check out here at BoomTube Comics. Again, BoomTube Comics. Dan, you do it this time. 14 blank blank. What is it?
1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike, Southington, Plantsville, Milldale, Connecticut.
Don't forget about the 25th.
Oh, we
yeah,
might as well.
yeah,
Yeah, let's throw that.
yeah.
Dan, what's happening on the 25th?
Our winter spectacular.
What's so spectacular about it?
It's the 1-year anniversary of the pint coming to the
That's
store.
right.
Oh.
1 year ago, we took over this store. We had a great time. We met the folks. We kissed the babies. We shook
Dr.
hands.
Chopper will be here.
Dr. Chopper's coming. Our recent radio guest, right?
Yep,
And our
Tom
buddy,
Ryan.
Tom Ryan. Tom Ryan's 2S's Studios.com. Check him out. He still has that sale going on. 10% off? Was it 10%?
20%, I think.
20%.
Yeah.
All right, go to Tom's website. I don't want to misquote anything, but I think it was 20% off a lot of his art prints and everything like that. You can come down here. He will be sketching. All right, and it's going to be a good day.
Dr. Chopper will be taking commission requests. You can pick them up at the store when he's done with them.
We will be filming. We're going to have some trivia like we've done.
Yep.
Grease up your Star Wars trivia wheels. Grease up your Marvel trivia wheels. I'm going to come up with something special as well.
We're gonna
Manster.
have some sales.
That's right. What are the sales? What are you doing?
Those are gonna be released shortly on
Whoa.
Facebook and Instagram.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to be here a
No
day
sneak
before.
preview right here, right now.
Well, let's say we're gonna have trades and hardcovers will be on sale.
Boom.
right.
That's all you need to know. Boom is the word.
And
BOOM.
a few other things.
And a couple other things?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. Dan, thank you so much for letting us come in and go through your store.
My pleasure.
Beautiful as always. We love this place. And Lloyd, anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. See
See
ya.
you Saturday.
Later.